Okay, yeah, hi everyone. Um, is the screen visible to everyone?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we had started the cloud security understanding, and we have now come to AWS so that we can practice it through AWS. So, whatever is the cloud, the security aspects and security practices are the same, but only case of here we are using AWS as one of the cloud tool, cloud type. Same we can go for Azure as well, and we can also go for Google Cloud Platform, that is GCP. So all places we need to understand security concerns are same, security measures are same, and security best practices are also same. So now we have already started the first part. So in the last session we talked about the infrastructure security. So the very first part of infrastructure security, that is dealing with what? The instances or dealing with the compute power. So last time I think a few of them were not there. So in the demo part, I'll just give that small brief that how exactly we had done that part. And then we'll go with the platform as a service and how to secure them with the security aspect. So think it as like infrastructure security part 2. So I am just covering part 1 a small bit, and then we'll proceed further to the part 2. Is my voice clear or everything is clear? Please let me know in between, because I have started the presentation. If anything is there, please let me know at that instance. So wherever we talk about security, we have to talk about the shared responsibility model. And we all know that responsibility model goes in both way, towards the customer and towards the cloud provider. Towards the customer means it is for the companies, it is for the individual who is seeking services from the cloud. And cloud providers like AWS, Azure, or GCP, these are major cloud providers in public domain. So these share responsibilities model are going for them as well. So from AWS side or from cloud side, you can see in the software part there is compute means a processor and RAM. Storage, you will have different type of storage, including the uh, uh, scalable storage and the encrypted. Then there is database also. Even Amazon is providing database. I find customers are provided or using your own
Sir,
database.
your
Maybe
voice is
SQL or MySQL.
breaking.
Okay. So just a minute, I'll check it. Hello, am I
Yes, sir.
audible?
Yes, sir. It's better.
Okay, so I'll just go back to the slide. So we were talking about the shared responsibility model, and it is required from both sides. So databases are there. Then there is networking part, which we may or may not see this directly, but it is involved, and many of the time it is coming along with any of the service. Then on customer side, there are plenty of things starting from customer data. So customer data is also another responsibility of uh, uh, ourselves or maybe company provider, because they need to okay, so they need to encrypt their data. Okay, and whatever platform applications IAM they are managing, they should not leave any issue in that. Same goes with the firewall configuration, network configuration. Then there is client side data encryption. Then there is enabling server side encryption and network traffic as well. So that goes for the customer side. So in the previous lecture, we talked about the very first service and securing of that. So which comes into infrastructure security as well, and that is related to the compute power. So is the we need to uh, understand what is the security related to the compute power as well. So compute power involves processor, involves RAM, involves accessing of it, how and who can access this compute power. Obviously your admin, obviously the one who admin is having that access to this, and whatever things are getting processed in the compute side, that should be known and that should be mounted on it. So that is why we talked about compute power in the last lecture, and we try to start the server, we try to secure them. So that part we had done. So we'll just talk about it, and I'll give you a small hint that how exactly we are doing it. So we know that from service responsibility model, compute uses the EC2 instance in case of AWS. In case of Azure, there is a different name for the server. It is called resources. And then there is a elastic block storage, EBS. Then there is network. All these things need to be secured. So whenever we try to secure EC2, the VPC, the other part, all these are coming by default. So it is up to us to configure them. Okay, so whenever we talk about security in any cloud services, we need to know that what are the things associated to it, and we need to go for the security of that as well. Then there are a few more uh, compute powers which are available, like AWS Lambda. Then there is AWS Relational Database, RDS. Then there is Elastic Beanstalk. But for these, the security configuration is handled by AWS itself. So in infrastructure, we are getting the resources, and we need to look after the security configurations, networking configurations, and storage configurations. So that is known as bare metal service, means very core service, and it is also called as infrastructure as a service. So, and then if we talk about the platform as a service, So in the platform as a service, security configurations and other things, updating of the securities, all these things are managed by the cloud provider itself. So that is platform as a service type of few examples are there on the LHS side of, which is saying AWS Lambda is managed by AWS only, and then RDS and the Beanstalk. Then there are some software as a service where we have the security advice, means security related apps or services which are offered through the cloud provider itself. In case of AWS, we have the services like Trusted Advisor, AWS Shield, and AWS Amazon Chime. There are few more as well. So these are the responsibility model. Whenever we want to do anything, we have to decide where is my EC2 instance, how is it connected to which services and other part. So 90% of time, what is first requirement, that setting up of the EC2 instance. So in the previous section or in the last lecture, in the last practice, we did that part, I guess, and we try to run one server as well. So I'll just show you how exactly it is there. And I would like to know how many of you are going to go ahead with the their own AWS account. And if you are not feeling like opening account just right away, okay. So if it is like possible for you all to provide me your email ID, so I will add that in my student database. So you will get this small access, and you can practice whatever you want for 4 hour of course, 4 hour of time. So every time when you refresh, you can get again 4 hour. As you can see here we have written 3.48. This is 3 hour 48 minutes, and AWS is green, means it is running. So through this third party, through this virtualized AWS, you all can also get the access. If you don't, there are some restrictions, but other than that, you can also utilize for it. So in starting, if you need practice to do some hands-on from by yourself into the AWS course, so I'll just request that if you can provide me your email ID, I'll be able to help you in that. Okay. Okay, sure. So I'll look to it. Okay. I will send you invite. So it will be appearing in your inbox. And there it will say you open one Canvas account. So there is a third party called as Canvas. So you just do not forget that password. That is your IAM root password. So once you set up that, you will be able to start services like this. Okay. So just this is just as a for the practice purpose I'm giving you. There is no guarantee that how long these services will be there, but this is available for 3 months maximum. So within 3 months you can try out various things, various hands-on practices by using this student account. Okay, this is I'm giving to my students. So here also I can add you, so you can get that. Okay. So we are now going to start. I think in the last time few people were not there. So for just for understanding, I'll tell you that we have lot of services, and very first is the infrastructure, where we have EC2. So when you put in search box EC2 instance, you will get this. This is what, this is virtual server in the cloud. It means it is a virtually one resource which you are using. This is very first thing. Like if you want to make one server or AWS server, then you are purchasing certain hardware. So to set up your local data center. Same way here also we can ask from Amazon AWS about this EC2 instance. So when I click on EC2 instance, and this is attracting the charges, so make sure whenever you are using EC2 instance, don't forget to stop it if it is not required for you to run continuously. If you have hosted any website on that, you have to run it for continuously. Otherwise, there is no use it for some compute service. Just use it for the time being it is required. So whenever you which will show you different instance other and many you will see there is a launch instance. Okay, you all. Otherwise, I'll use some colors screen about launch in the orange color. Confirm or not? Otherwise, I'll use certain color there. Is it fine? Visible?
Yes, sir. We can see the.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So I was saying there number of instances running which are over here. So that is the one part. So whenever I go on to this, I will see what number of instances I have started in the past. But you have to understand that it is showing the number of instances which are running in the particular region, that is in US East North Virginia. Right now I have selected this as my region over here, because of that it is available. Okay, so we need to understand that sometime if you have started certain instances in some other region and you have changed the region from here, then you need to understand that that instance will not be visible over here. Then you have to go to the global view of EC2, that will show you that in every region how many total number of instances are running. So that is the very first precaution you have to take. You must know where are my different EC2 instances which are running. They are the servers, they are the virtual data centers which are available. They are having compute power and the RAM and the storage. So that is one thing that you need to know. Now I'm going to select this in running EC2 instances. When I select this, I'll get the number of instances instances which are already running. So in the last session we have created this web server one, right? So in the web server one we have created this. How to create it? You have to just simply go to the launch instance. So when I go to launch instance, I will be asked to put some name of the server, then we have to configure them. We have to select which part or which type of OS we are using. So is it fine for everyone, or should I make one demo to launch the instance? Is it for you? Is it okay? Do you want that demo? That otherwise I can start with the further part.
You can go ahead.
Yeah, should I launch one instance just for example to show you again?
Yeah,
No,
sir. If you can quickly.
Yeah,
Otherwise, there are instructions. We can follow that.
yeah. Only the thing is, last time we have groups. That see, whatever I am doing, that is not to just. I'm just telling you the cloud computing in a brief, so that we can cover our security aspects in the cloud. Okay, and this security aspect will be same in each of the cloud providers. But for the instance, wherever you go, there are, like, when you are having this type of UI, that is called as console. When you have this kind of console, then you can mostly navigate through the things. The challenges are where you have only black screen with the cursor, that is called a server screen, and there you have to type in each of the command. Even if I want to launch instance from this place, so even for that you have to write a command. So that is the requirement in afterwards. Or maybe one who wants to completely go into cloud for different role, maybe for admin role, for security, for other things, cloud architect, DevOps, so many things. So if I click on launch instance, I will be getting one more instance. So this will give me launch wizard of the instance. So whenever you want to launch any instance, very first thing you have to click on OK of that instance. So let's say if I'm writing instance name, so let's say I'll say uh, web dash. I have already told you that please do not leave the space, only use the dash or underscore. Web server dash 2109. Let's say I'm using this as today's date as one of the IT. So I have used dash dash dash. That name can be anything, so no problem in that. So after writing the name, you have to select the operating system. Which operating system do you want for your computer? That is over here. So that you need to select. So we have Amazon Linux, which is very quickly launchable. You can immediately launch. It is very uh, fast, configured by Amazon itself. So Amazon Linux is there, Mac OS is there, Ubuntu is there, Windows is there, Red Hat is there, then SUSE Linux is there, then there are Debian based Linux is also there. So SUSE Linux, Red Hat, Ubuntu, Amazon Linux, all these are the versions of the Linux, because Linux is having almost 132 different type of operating systems, which all are free for use, and they are free from viruses as well. So I will be selecting Ubuntu for the installation, because many of the commands of Ubuntu is very common and very familiar to many of the people. So that is why I'm using Ubuntu. Even Linux is also very much useful. Amazon Linux, if you are using it for small or maybe low compute power, you just use this Amazon Linux. That is much better option. Otherwise you can use Ubuntu. So Out of Linux, Ubuntu, I'm using is there Linux maximum of select. Just to highlight that, or what is your understanding in that? What do you think that we should use the Linux for what purpose? Very first thing, it is free to use, open source. Anyone, open source is just not about free. Open source is about free, as well as anyone can contribute to this. Anyone can be a developer, can configure this operating system entirely, can contribute to this. So that is first use case from developing of aspect. Second thing is about pricing. So already pricing is very less, even lesser than the Windows, lesser than the other operating systems, right? So uh, I have already highlighted this thing, the pricing. So see the instance which you are running, every instance you have to understand how is it there. So for free people, or for free tier who wants to practice in AWS, for them there is one machine called as t2.micro, there is t2.large, and then even there is large machines like M1, M2, M3, M5. They are also having large, medium, small kind of availability. So whenever we select t2.micro, it is saying there is one virtual CPU available, means one core processor is available, 1 GB memory is there, so 1 GB RAM is there actually, and 30 GB of the space is there, or hard means your drive is of 30 GB. So that is means 30 GB is available to you. Okay, and see the pricing is written over here, that is hourly base. So for the Linux system, you are having the pricing is very less, which is having 0.0116. Even for SUSE also, you can see the pricing is less. Okay, for Windows pricing is a bit like 50% more. So Linux pricing is saying almost 1 cent per hour in US dollar, 1 cent per hour, 0.0116 US dollar per hour. So 1 cent per hour. If you are running this PC for 1 hour, you will be charged 1 cent there. If it is running for 24 hours, then 24 cent. So 24 into 30, like 750 across. So for one complete month, if you are running this service, then you will get the charge of only almost how much? That would be 75 cents. That is a quarter dollar, right? Sorry, $3 4 means $0.75. So it is not crossing even $1 for a month if you are using this instance. Is it okay? Am I clear on it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now next thing, pricing is there, and even you can select other machines also. Just click a drop down over here, and you'll get some additional instances as well, but we cannot use those because some are not free. Only two places they are free to use. So your machine in the free tier, we have this one of the service available. Okay, there are few more. See the machine size. If I go to the very large machine, okay, it is very large machine. If you can see here, there is C6ID.24x. 24x is providing 96 virtual CPU, means your core is 96, and CPU, and then there is RAM of 192 GB RAM. Imagine this much RAM. So 192 GB of RAM, and the pricing even for the Linux, if you can check out over here, for the Linux pricing is almost $4.8 per hour, very high pricing, because it is handling very large group of very large or heavy load servers. So it is sometime for the when traffic is more, maybe users are maximum active, maybe you are broadcasting channel partner for any sports activity, and lot of traffic is coming to you, so you have the option to scale it up to this option. You can check the difference between windows base and windows based pricing and the linux base. Windows is almost 9.2, which is almost double of this 4.8. So this is the very reason, and 90% of the places, the every company is using linux servers maximum. So this is how we select the uh, machine. Then next is the key pair login. So when I talk about key pair login, it is very important and essentials. So in the security very first part, we saw that it is used for login purpose, for login purpose. So which method we are using here for logging? That is called as console method. Means you are using your id and password, and you can set up some otp based authentication, which is called as multi-factor authentication. But when I talk about other methods via which we need to log in into AWS account, maybe any cloud system, then we need this key pair login. Okay, so key pair login is required for that. So we can generate the key pair from this option, key pair generation. Okay, and we can get one here, and you need to immediately download that key pair and preserve that. And whenever you are using command line interface, you have to supply that. Or whenever your software or your any server is there, or any sdk is there who wants to communicate to cloud on your behalf, then they can use this key pair. For this purpose it is available. So here key pair, if I select, so it is saying that you can generate one. So I can use a VOSC key which is already generated, or I can create a new pair, or third option is that do not use the key pair, which is not advisable for actual cloud. But here we are using it for means demo purpose. That is why I am not using key pair, because I can every time start new instances, so no problem in here. Okay, so that is about the key pair login. So that is the third thing that you had to configure. Now very important security aspect, the last thing which we have to configure is called as network setting. In the network setting you have to understand two things very very carefully. One is about the network, and second is about the security group or sg. Security group or sg, these two you need to know, because in amazon or in any of the cloud, for the network in amazon we have vpc id, that is called as virtual private cloud, virtual private cloud. This is the logical cloud separation inside it. Our next topic of the security is covering this network security only, so there will deal with the vpc, how to set up the vpc and many other things. And here it is having security group, so it is called as sg. In aws we call this as sg, uh, and in azure we call this as nsg, network security group. And for the gcp google cloud platform, again we call it as sg only. So see, the names are pretty much similar. So even if you have understood one cloud, you can dive into another type only through the concepts, not by the name. Okay, so here this thing is very much crucial to set up, and you need to understand that you, if you are not doing proper setup, you cannot access your server. So you have to select the proper security group as well. Okay, so that part is required. So I'll just tell you what options we need to use. Very first thing is we should allow one traffic which is called as ssh traffic. Why do we need to allow the ssh traffic? Because we need to use it for login purpose. In our server, very first thing is login. So for the login purpose, where you provide your key pair, right? So for the key pair everything, you have to use this login. So that is why secure shell is required, which is called as SSH. Without SSH you cannot go ahead. For Linux they have their own terminal which is by default SSH, but if you are using Windows, so you cannot use directly SSH. Nowadays Windows is giving PowerShell, but otherwise you have to use Putty or Putty. Putty is one of the software through which you can set up the secure connection between your server and the your computer or your endpoint device, and because of that you will be able to successfully log in into your server. And for further in things you can use other protocols. So here we have HTTPS, means we can allow the internet to reach to my server. We can allow the insecure internet without HTTPS, that is called as hypertext transfer protocol. So we can use this kind of traffic to reach to our server, that is possible. So it is up to you whether you want to select it or not. But always understand, until unless it is not a web server, please do not use allow the traffic there. Okay, in the VPC part we will see that again. Okay, so whether you select it or not, and very important thing, that from traffic from which IP address is allowed. So you can use certain IP addresses, and if I want to ping from my own IP, I should be using this IP address only, and then at that time from my terminal only it will be accessed, otherwise not. If I use some other computer which is connected to another with another IP another place, so it will not allow me to log in even if I'm using the correct IP pair or correct key pair. It is not, it will not allow. So that is why. But right now I'm allowing, let there be SSH traffic coming from anywhere, means login request can come from anywhere from the globe. So that is not advisable. And last thing is about configuration of storage. So storage is by default one 8 GB drive is there. For the free tier user, at maximum up to 30 GB can be used. 30 GB of SSD or magnetic storage is available. If you want to add one more drive in your laptop or in this server, you can just go for the option of add new volume. Otherwise, not required. So out of 30 GB, we are using 8 GB over here. And in the end, you will get the summary. See, the summary part is on the right hand side, and it is saying all the summaries related to this. Okay, even in the free tier you can see certain messages, warning messages are coming, that in the first year 750 hours of t2.micro you can use, and after that there will be charges to and so on. Okay, so if you click on launch instance now, with the security configuration, network configuration, whatever you have done, you can just select the launch instance. When I select this launch instance, I will be able to create one in launching, means one server is getting ready. And which operating system will be in there? Ubuntu operating system is in there. And that Ubuntu operating system is not user interface, it is the server type of operating system. So within few minutes only we are able to launch one complete new system with a server. Okay, so instance has been created and the ID is given. Okay, now if I want, I just go back to instances and I'll see there will be next fourth instance which is about to start running. This web server to 20019. See, this is the instance ID. It is running, it is saying that it is initializing. Until unless it is showing like above, that is 2 by 2 check is passed, till time you have to wait and then you can start this server. And how to start a server? You have to just select that server and click on connect. Okay, so on the top you have some options like connect, then you have instance state. I have already told you that please do not let your instance running continuously. There are different options which will be enabled as per the type of instance, and please select that properly. So let's say for one example, I'm just I have shown you the demo how are we launching the instances. And let's say I have last time I had used this web server 1. So I just select this web server 1 now. So web server 1 is selected, and you can see that when I click on instance state, it is showing me different uh, options, whether I want to stop this instance so that billing will stop, and whatever services are running on that, that will also stop eventually. Then reboot services, so, instances, I can reboot the services by using this. I can delete this instance as well. I don't want this to be used, so I can delete this. And there is another option on the left side of this instance state that is called as connect. So please understand, whenever you want to start any server, you have to click on this connect. Select the proper server, right server configuration which you have used, and just start connect. So I'll just click on connect. When I click on connect, it is asking that what are you want to connect. Is it the endpoint, or it is the instance connect? So I am using EC2 instance connect. What is EC2 instance connect? It is just this particular UI from where I am trying to log in into EC2. And this is endpoint connect. If I select endpoint connect, then it will give me a fixed IP address. I have to provide my own laptop's IP address. Through that only I should be able to communicate. And whenever you are about to start any EC2 instance, you will be given one public IP address, and this is the global IP address, global. Okay, so that is why you are being charged. Okay, so it is not free. Okay, so for free account you will be able to get this, but even for the AWS 1 year account also you'll be able to get this, but otherwise you have to give the charge for it. So that address is there and Ubuntu is there already. I'll just select the connect option. When I select the connect option, I will be able to launch this instance. So this service has been launched now. Okay, so this will start the Ubuntu server which is running onto that particular instance. Whenever you use any server, you try to run any server, this black screen will come and the cursor will be there, and some command will be there. If connection is established, there is no error, then only you will get this option you are getting, which is saying that if I just press some enter in this, so that you can see a dollar sign coming in here. So that means your Ubuntu software is now running. Okay, is it visible? The screen is visible to you all?
Yes, sir.
I have done few times enter. Let's see if it is available. Okay, so I'll just highlight these two things that you need to understand. One is there is the public IP and another is there is a private IP. So here whatever is written, that is the private IP itself. Okay, you can see here whatever is coming 107. Okay, so 107 is pinged by private IP address. So within the cloud, they are using private IP address. And for outside the cloud, we can reach to this server by using this public IP address. So last time what we did actually, we have installed here one web server, a very small web server called as nginx. Okay, so you have to use certain commands like sudo space apt space install space nginx. When you install that server, by default there is one welcome page is there. So even you can access that welcome page from your end. Okay, so right now this service is live, this is running. So I request everyone to check whether you are able to access it or not. Okay, so please go to your computer or cell phone's browser and type this IP address, that is 3.236.212.58. So whenever you put that in your browser's browser, this IP address, you will get one.
Nginx.
Yeah, welcome to Nginx. One web page you will get, which is there by default. We can replace that page by our website or maybe my CV page. So if you can design one CV page in HTML, you can host it there, and you can just give one small link with for that, or maybe a QR code. Anyone who scans can directly reach to your CV website. So this is how we have made the uh, a web server running within few minutes, and we have configured them where anyone can access this. Public IP is actually running behind every website name. So you just remember the website name. Let's say using one I have used one new website and I have done some advertisement. Now everybody knows my website name. Let's call that website name is plantation.com. So let's say plantation.com is one of the website. So everybody knows what is plantation.com and they are trying to access that. Whenever they write in their browser plantation.com and enter, which goes to the DNS first, that is called as domain name service. In the DNS it will first check and it will ask the online servers which are running DNS services on it, like Google. So Google is also having a server, Yahoo is having, Bing is having, many of the servers are there which are running for this purpose only. So what happens that very first time you have the website name in your browser, that goes to first a DNS service, domain name system. And domain name system is running a server where they are having the information about the website name and their actual or public IP address. Public IP address is unique across global. Private IP address is only unique within their network. Like if I'm using my router in my home, so maybe my router would have given me 192.160.2.3. This is one of the private IP. Maybe same IP address is also running maybe somebody else's house in their own private network. Means the router which is there in their house will can distribute the same type of IP address, but in public IP it is globally unique. So that is why it is chargeable. Okay. And every website which are there live, they all are having a public IP running in behind. So website name I had used plantation.com. So plantation.com is just for ourselves. For the network, there is some public website IP address. Let's say 3.236.212.58. So it is that IP address. Okay, so you might have heard of dark web and so many other things about dark web. So it is there. Okay, so if internet is this, so on the front side, this is the white internet or white web, and downside whatever you see, all these are dark web. In the dark web, one must know the public IP address as well as the port address. That is total socket ID. Everybody should know. Then only will be able to access that website. So it is like a iceberg. On the top, you are just seeing this much, but behind the scene, there are lot many things into internet, and they all are using just the public IP address. They have not put the name for their website. So this is how, see, the server is running and you all can get the you have access through your browser and server which I have started from here. So I'll just select this server, I stop this instance, because otherwise it will attract some charges. Okay, last time I had started two new instances. Total now there in my account there are 4 instances which are running. Okay, so this is the launch wizard. If you can see, this was having $1.4, and now my account is having $1.4. my total utilization is about $1.8 out of $50 assigned to me. And see the timing which is decrementing, that is 3 hour 10 minutes is remaining. If you want to run it for few more times and you are not done with your lab setup, you can increase this time just by clicking again on the start lab. So moment I again click on start lab, my services will be active, and I will get another 4 hour for that. So this is how one can extend it to 3 4 times, even can run that server for 24 hours, but every 4 hour you have to click on start lab options. Okay, so that is just for this particular uh, demo account. Okay, in your card, once you have started, once your server is running, it will be running until you stop it, and it will attract the charges. If you are under $100, you will not be charged, and if you are using above that, it will may attract the charges, and you will get it in your next credit card bill. So before that, you have to use some monitoring tool like Cloud Watch. So in Amazon there is a service called as Cloud Watch. You use this, so it will keep giving you the suggestions that this particular this much is the bill. Every day you'll get one email, this is the bill, this is the bill. Moment you cross maybe $1 you have set, so immediately you stop all the uses. Okay, so this is what is to be done. Okay, so that is about the web server that we have started. But what is our main goal is to understand, whenever I click on any server, I click on the instance ID, it will open the details of that instance IDs. In the detail part, I am interested only in one major part, that is the virtual private cloud ID and the security need to monitor the security. So in the cloud part, everywhere, for every requirement, we are having this security group. Okay, so I click on this particular tab which is called as security. Similarly, there is a networking. The for our first you have to click on security. So I'm clicking on security tab. So every type of security which you are creating, you have to create a unique instance ID for that. Instance ID which is called a security group ID, and it is called as launch wizard 4. Means this is fourth security kind of structure that I have formed in my account, because I have launched 3 server and one security group is there by default. So total 4 launch wizard I have used, means 4 variety of security group I have used till now in my account. So even you can select different security group for required purpose if you want. So in this security group, if you click on it, security group is there with the every EC2 engine. Always remember that without configuring EC2 instance or without making the changes in security group, you will not be able to get the access to the EC2 instance. And by default, we don't want to give access to anybody for this instance. Otherwise, they will run their own things in our server. So that is not advisable. So what is there inside the security group? We have 2 things inside the security group. Very first thing is called as inbound rule, and second is called as outbound rule. So if I just tell you that if this is the cloud space, and in that I'm starting one EC2 instance or one engine EC2 instance, what is my requirement? That my EC2 instance should reach to any IP address across the globe. Any IP globally, means I should be able to deliver to any IP address, but nobody should be able, means not everyone should be able to access my IP address, my services. They should not be able to. So only my IP or select IP. So you have to make this rule. So whenever you are setting the rule for traffic which is starting from your server and going outside, this traffic is called as outbound traffic. So for the outbound traffic you have to decide the rule. What is the rule? It can reach to any IP address, so that time you can just directly allow all traffic to go outside. And for other purpose you have to use the inbound rule. Okay, so for that we are using inbound inbound traffic. So this is inbound traffic. From my select IP address only it should reach to EC2 instance. So means nobody should be able to reach to my IP address every time, okay, without, if it is not authorized for. So for that purpose what should I do? I should configure my inbound rule. So let's say how to do that. So already few rules are already written over here, that is called as inbound rule. We can see there are three rules which are written here inbound. I can go to edit inbound rule and see here we are getting certain options, and in that option we can change these rules, even we can delete these rules. You can delete, you can add, and you can change the source, means who can access it, okay, and which protocol. So for login purpose you are using SSH. For internet we are using HTTP. This is for secure internet, must means for transactions and other purpose. And this is for streaming purpose, maybe video streaming, gaming, or YouTube streaming, so many other things, stream services. For that we can use only HTTP, there is security is not that much necessary, okay, or we can use it late. And then if you can see, you have to know that what is this protocol used and what are the port range and all. So I think already in the previous sessions of Indresh we have already got to know that what is IP address, what is range, and what are the protocols. Without protocol we cannot access anything onto internet. TCP is the most secured protocol. This is coming under transport layer. There is one more called as UDP, there is one more called as SCTP. So UDP is for streaming purpose, video, live game, so many other things, where packet, if it is lost, one or two packets are lost, then also no issues. And in TCP it is not allowed, because it is secure transaction, maybe your card payment, maybe your setup file transfer, maybe sensitive data information, HIPAA, insurance, health record, so many things. So all those are logging details, all those are using the TCPs. So TCP is connection oriented and UDP is connectionless. All these things are already I think covered, and please keep referring that. Okay, we need here also see the security net. In the network security few network things will be same. Cyber security we are using into cloud, and that is called as cloud security. Only the thing is here we need to know that how compute services are running, how storages are running, how their login mechanisms are, and what is IAM security. These things are now new thing for the cloud security. Okay, and in the cyber security it is required what is your IP address, who is accessing it, what is the protocol, are they using secure transaction, all these things. But here you have to know who is accessing, what is accessed, and when was accessed. So all these things we can go with the cloud security. So here sources as there, we can customize the IP addresses. So I'll just show you this drop down. Under that you can select any IP address from IPv4 or my IP address or IPv6 also, or I can select the particular IP address. So only the request from this particular IP address. What are they? They are called as range of IP address. If I select /24, that means how many IP addresses are still able to access my services, how many separate IP addresses across the internet can use this? Can anyone understand? Tell me, if I'm using an IP address who is having /24 value, it means out of 32-bit, 24 bits are reserved for the network purpose. So how many are remaining for the host? 8 bits are available for the host. And if I do 2 power 8 in binary, so I'll get 2 power 8 is how much? 256. So 256 different user IP addresses are possible because of this option. And only those IP addresses who is having /24 in their IP address will be able to access my service. Are you understanding this?
Yes.
Okay. So this is how we can set up the rule that who can access my which service. Even if you want, I can use some other services also. There is one more option called as add rule. When I click add rule, it will ask which protocol do you want to run. There are plenty of protocols, all TCP, all UDP. If you want to network diagnosis, you can use internet control message protocol, all traffic. For login purpose, always use SSH. Then there is SMTP for email services. Then there is DNS, of course. Few servers are also for the DNS. Then we have HTTP protocol. Then there is HTTPS. POP3 and IMAPs are accessing the email through cell phones. SMB is there, SMTP is there, IMAP is there. Then there are Redshift RDP, that is for remote desktop. Okay, so if this service is enabled, one can take this entire thing, remote access and all. Then elastic graphics, so many new protocols are also available. Whenever you select RDP, say I'm selecting, so I don't have to remember that which protocol is utilized for that and what was the port range. Registered port number is also already will come into that. You cannot edit that because they are the registered port. Only dynamic ports number can be edited, static port addresses are not. So see, port range 3389 is nothing but the remote desktop protocol. So even I can use this, or I can add this also. And I have to select that which IP address should be able to get the access for this. So let's say I say my IP address. So my IP address is actually this one. So now I will be able to access this server which I was running, Ubuntu server which I was running. I can see that server. I can take that on my desktop for the command purpose, for the control purpose, only by using this IP address. I should not be using any other IP. I will not get the access for that. So this is how we can restrict our inbound rules or inbound traffic. I hope it may have become some familiar to you. Are you all getting some understanding that how inbound traffics can be controlled, reaching to AWS server or any other cloud server? We have to make this rule every time. Is it okay?
Yes, and you can add multiple like services like you did with
Certainly,
RDP,
yeah.
right?
There are, yeah, we can add as many rules we want, and we can decide. Okay. So if there is a web server, so only most of the time this SSH and HTTPS and HTTP, all three are the only requirement. If I am using any database server, I will use some other protocols as well. If I'm using it for application server, then I have to use few more as well. So this is how it goes. Okay. So these are the inbound and outbound rules that we should take care about. And I'll just show you the last outbound rule. So after doing all these things, even you just click on save rule, it will update that save rule, and your SGI, your launch widget or your security group ID will be, is a same. You as many times you change. And you have to understand one more thing, that for every VPC security ID there is a VPC as well, that is virtual private cloud ID. And this is the next part that we are going to set up in the next session, maybe by tomorrow. So that is VPC, that is virtual. I was about to show you the outbound traffic. So there is no such rule in outbound traffic. Only you have to allow every. See here, it is directly said that you allow everything for this security group. Any IPv4 from all traffic from any of the protocol is allowed to come to go. Means your EC2 instance can send services for any IP address wherever that EC2 wants. Okay, it is up to that destination to accept or reject, or maybe the firewall who is there in between, or maybe the router who has been configured for some particular IP only. So otherwise it can reach to anywhere across the globe. So this is inbound traffic rule and outbound traffic rule. Okay, so this is related to the EC2 instance. Again, I am going back to EC2 dashboard. I am going to running services of instances. There are 3 services which are still running. If I don't want, I should stop those services. Then only the charges will stop, and then I can change that service. Okay, so this is what is all about the infrastructure part of the AWS. Services which are there in the infrastructure like elastic block storage, elastic beanstalks, all these are also there. But they are AWS managed, means you can set up the rule in AWS accordingly. Otherwise, I can select the just use top instance button by selecting all of them. Okay, so it will ask that all of the associated billings will stop. Okay, so it is showing that you will not be able. Okay, if you have IP address it, or any you remove that volume. This is coming under solution architect and cloud admin side. So even without any knowledge of coding and other things, there are plenty of sectors in the cloud where everyone can do. Okay, so that is the stopping, and it is going to stop now. Now I'll go to the services, and I have seen the lot of services. I'm now going to use this one more service which is coming under platform as a service. So our today's talk is actually about platform of the service. So I am just going to use this particular service which is provided through AWS. Same can be provided through Azure or GCP as well. I click on elastic beanstalk. So what is elastic beanstalk? I'll tell you first, and then we'll go ahead further. Okay, let me see if I have some proper PPT showing that thing. Okay, so IAM policy and rules. So I'll just close this, reach to that particular. See all these this AWS provided PPTs and practice. This is for foundation. Okay, means if you want to know cloud foundation, if you are new to AWS cloud, you can use this PPT to understand. But if you want to go into security, there is another set of whole activity and the PPTs which I have already put on some drive. I'll give you the link. I'll share that link. You all can access through that all the PPTs, and you all can practice simultaneously in any of the Google account, cloud account. Maybe one which I'm planning to give you, and another which is already you can take it from your credit card. Okay. So I was saying about EC2. EC2 instance is also there. So I'll just show you that there are certain services which are like there. So we are focusing on only these 2 services. One is Amazon EC2. Okay. And second is elastic beanstalk. So we are going to use these two in our thing. We can also use Amazon Lightsail. This is very good web server for website hosting. Then we can use Lambda, which is for serverless computing wherever we want, for immediate fast computing without using any web or anything. Means immediate computation is required. Sometimes we need to calculate what will, whether it logical decision, whether it is to be allowed or not. So you have to run some set of commands on that instance that is related to Lambda side. Okay, so right now we are going to talk about the elastic beanstalk. I'll just scroll through this PPT, just 2-3 more slides, and then we'll go back to the practice. So what is the use of all these services? All these are available. uh, One can go through, and here everything related to EC2 instances are there. That whatever local data center or servers are doing, same job is done by EC2 instances. It is used for multiple use cases. As you can see, almost all things which are coming in our daily life, it already there, right from application server, web server, database server, game server, mail server, up to proxy server as well. File transfer FTP protocol is also supported. So all these servers we can create by using this resource called as EC2. And if it is so important, we have to know how to secure them. So very first thing related to every EC2 instance is what? Security group. And second very important thing which is related to EC2 is called as VPC, which is coming from the networking side. So these two you need to know every time, and we'll see how exactly we are securing this infrastructure or this resource by following proper security uh, group guidelines and by following proper VPC setup guidelines. If you want to launch any instance, I have shown you this already. Some screenshots may be from older time. Nowadays they have revamped the website, so accordingly it will come. See the Amazon instances, what is it doing, how exactly launching mechanism is going on, how the memory and virtual CPUs are arranged, and what are the different type of machines are already there. So I have already highlighted all these things. Then how you decide which compute power is required for which case. Like I have selected EC2 instance, and what was the name of my engine? T2. I had used T2.micro for our web server. So T2.micro, and for which purpose we are using it is for broad purpose. But C4 and C5 they are optimized for compute, for high performance HPC, high performance computers we are using for that. Then there is memory optimized server machines are also there. These processors are more for memory purpose. They are for database access, faster access of the database. And some accelerated computing is there, because nowadays we need lot of GPU, we need lot of TPU. All these things are there already. Taiwan Semiconductor and the Nvidia are already there in this, because nowadays everything is required to be computed immediately and very fast compute. If you want machine learning, maybe artificial intelligence, or if you want to have any intelligence, very first thing it should be intelligence comes if your machine can think like human. And humans are mostly analyzing the things by seeing the things. So it is not about code, it is about the analyzing the scene and the behavior. So for that machine learning purpose, some accelerated computing machines are also available. For the storage purpose, I3 is there, H1 is there, D2 is there. That is for DFS. So HDFS is also there. In that, Hadoop is the very good server. So Hadoop servers are for database. They are dividing block, means whole lot of data into multiple small data, and then they are very easy to access. They are making it small chips so that it can be accessed even more faster way. Hadoop is used for that. So these are the different types of EC2 instances which I have used T2. So all these are just for your understanding how network features is there. So from here onwards we need to use IAM roles, network roles, all this. So I'll tell you how this project is made, and we will make this project live also from next time onwards. See the commands which we are using. So whenever you write any Linux command na, that is called as script. So we have secure shell, again we need script. Then we can use the Linux script. Our shell scripting is there. You all can go through one topic called a shell script. Maybe the next 30-40 minutes you will acquire not less than 50 different commands. At least you can know 50 different commands which you can use in any Linux machine to update, to make new directory, to make new folder, to install something, to uninstall something, to get into the directory, to rename the folders. There are like 50 commands for that. So that is other thing for other purpose. So I'll just stop this PPT over here and we'll go back to beanstalk. Okay, so this is what is required. So I'll just switch to, just a minute, I think. Okay, yeah, it is running. I think it is accessible. Okay. Okay, so hope this screen is visible, which is I now I am going for the elastic beanstalk. So our next 20-minute session will be based on elastic beanstalk. What is this particular thing, and what is the requirement of this, and why is it coming under platform as a service? So this is Amazon AWS's very favorite service called as PAAS, platform as a service. So earlier days, like there were a lot of hurdles for hosting a website. So if you know that even if you want to launch your own website nowadays, it is very simpler. You just go into wordpress.com, set up your own account, and they will give you a template. You just modify the content in there, upload your photo video, and you will be able to get one live website for your CV, maybe for your product, maybe for that is static website. Okay, so that you can launch under free. Even you can pay some amount, you can get one some more good amount of good content related website there. But what if you want to launch any you have to start any web application, means online software. What if you want to access, or you want to create a dynamic website? Because nowadays 90% of dynamic websites are there. They are providing, means scripts are running behind the scene, means with HTML code you may be having JavaScript, you may be having PHP running in the backend, and they are helpful for the calculations or computations. So on the spot in the website itself, you put A amount, B amount, C amount, immediately you will get the total of it. So all these requires computation that is related to the scripts, so like JavaScripts and other things. But whenever you want to create a website or web application or many other things, so you have to use this, you can use this beanstalk. And this is very very means reliable and very easy, means good to use service. 90% of time people do not know what are the dependencies required. Let's say I want to run one project based on PHP. So what do we need to install very first? Just imagine if you want to run a PHP type of software on your laptop only. So what will you do the first? First, you have to install one server which will run the PHP locally, that like XAMPP server, maybe Apache server. So all these are the servers where you can use the PHP. Or so that is how dependencies are. If you want to run any Java file, make sure you have JDK installed or Java dependencies installed. They are called as environment. They are called as the variables. They are called as the dependencies. So whenever before running any software, any web application, first thing you have to do is to install the dependencies. Without dependencies it will not run. Just by putting your code will not run the web applications. So because of that, you have to configure a lot of things. Very first time you have to start one server, then you have to install some variables, then you have to set up some dependencies. Sometime what happens, dependencies fail. Okay, let's say you have updated your website to something new. Now that website is not supporting in old Android phones, maybe old iPhones, maybe old running operating systems. They are not opening in that. Maybe your maximum client is still using the older device. Not everyone will come to the new device. So what will happen, it should have the broad access. Otherwise your services will be like will not be useful to those people, and you may get low business. So for that, all those purpose, every company makes sure that whatever they are running as a web server is accessible to plenty of devices together, whether it is old or new or advanced or anything. So that is how uh, this comes in picture. Beanstalk. So Beanstalk said, you don't worry about anything, you just tell me which type of code you want to run. Okay, so here it is saying, do you want to run the Java code, .NET code, PHP code, Node.js, Python, Ruby, Go, Docker, then servers like Apache, Nginx, Passenger, and IAS, any internet service, whatever you want to use, just tell us the name of that technology, that's all. We will set up every related dependencies based on that, and it will be properly patched and updated. So this is the beauty of this Beanstalk. They will do all the headache for you, and you just pay some compute power price only, and you will get this. So it is automatically deployable, the software mechanism. And here it is saying that pricing, the very good thing is about Beanstalk is what it is said that you will not be charged extra for it. So for using Beanstalk, you don't have to pay the amount. Only whatever EC2 engine will run and whatever storage you will consume, for that you are already paying the charges. They have given this dependency installation for free, because they know that if people are not able to configure them properly, their services will not run. So maybe by day or two they will leave our services. That is why they know that people may configure EC2 instance, may configure a S3, but dependency installation may be a headache for them, because technology keeps on changing. So that part, that burden, they are now trying to take. So that is how elastic Beanstalk is there. Okay, all the resources, all the benefits, how is it there, everything is already available on this website. If you click on this very important resource called as documentation, you will get 90% of the information related to the Beanstalk. So it is called as docs.aws.com. If you go in there, it will tell you what is this, how is it used, what is a related things, how will you get all these things, and how where you can run which platforms and all. Okay, and the different tutorials are already available. If you want to use it for Python or any other, maybe PHP or whatever you want, you'll get it. Okay, so these documentations are already available onto most of the AWS websites. Okay, so I'll come back to this elastic Beanstalk. Now I want to run one service. I just create application. The moment I click on create application, it will show me one application wizard configuration environment. What is it, what is written here? Web server environment. What do you want, whether it is a web server or work environment, with what you want to run. So let's say I want to run a website, maybe create a web application or create a web API. 90% of thing is on the internet is related to these things only, either website, other web application, or the API. So that is covering maximum services. So let's say I want to run those kind of service, so I can just use, then I can start with application name. So let's say uh, new dash beanstalk dash service. This is the name of my new beanstalk service. Okay, I can add the tag also. Tag means just that is for understanding purpose. Then whatever you have typed, accordingly there is one new name has come, that is called as new bs dash service. This is I have written, and it is saying dash env. Dash env means environment. So it is now using the environment of that. Then domain is the thing. This is what this is the link that you will get to access this service. So it will be filled automatically if you leave it open. Otherwise you can write something for yourself, and you can check the availability whether that link is available. It is unique worldwide, so that you need to understand. Whatever you will write, your link will be that thing dot us dash east one dash elasticbeanstalk.com. If you are creating your cv, it will come with that uh, thing, and you can write certain description if you want, otherwise not required. Now they are asking what you want. Do you want managed platform or customized? So of course we want managed platform. Okay.
Excuse me, I had a question. So if the domain has already been purchased, we could just simply put there, or we have to do the redirection?
I did not get it clear. Just can you
Uh,
repeat one more time?
yeah, I'm saying, let's say the domain we have already purchased the domain. Let's say from GoDaddy, we already have a domain name, so we can just
Right,
put the domain name there, or we have to do the redirection, right?
right.
Okay.
So see,
Got it.
GoDaddy and other
So,
things which they are offering, no, that is the same as this Beanstalk. So they are
okay,
into
but
the
if you scroll up a little bit, if you go to the domain, that domain thing that you were showing, this domain. So if I already have the domain, let's say
okay.
www.xyz.com,
Mhm.
and if I put it there, it will be followed by .us east one
No, we
.elasticbeanstalk.
cannot use it like that. This is only because see, GoDaddy and others are using different compute power. Okay, they are having their own server running somewhere else, and here everything is running into AWS. So that is why we cannot use that, but we can host similar website over here
But
for
what
web
if I
application.
what if I already have a domain name? What should I do in that case?
Yeah,
See, okay.
if you are
Uh,
already having, that is one of the
mm,
web server or web application you have already created. So
mm.
that is okay,
But if I want to
but you
host it
can
here
port
in
your
AWS,
codes to this.
okay,
Understand?
okay,
Yeah.
thank
So means this is
See,
for
sir.
completely
Yeah, Arun sir,
related to this domain
Sir,
side
1 minute.
only and AWS.
Hello, Arun sir, I'm audible.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Having a domain name is different, and having a hosting a domain name is different. If you have a domain name, you can do whatever configuration you want to do in AWS. But if you are hosting anything in already in GoDaddy, then it is a difficult one.
Yeah, so
Yes.
so my point was that if I already have a domain name and if I have my application already running and I want to host that machine to here in AWS, I can simply have this DNS to do the DNS. I think we will do the Route 53 service that we have in AWS.
No, see,
We
in
can host
GoDaddy,
it.
if you are having already domain name, means you are already hosting your web application in GoDaddy. It's like you are already having one home, and you cannot shift your one home into another apartment.
So in
If you,
GoDaddy, my application is not hosted in GoDaddy. My
yeah,
application is hosted on my server, my in-house server. But if I want to host that application and bring it to the AWS, I only have the domain name from
yeah.
GoDaddy, not the
So
host.
for domain name, you can do it if only for the domain name, not for the complete infrastructure.
Yeah, so if I
Mm.
want to bring that application which is hosted on
Yeah,
my
you,
own
you can
server,
do it.
which is in
You
house,
can you can.
I want to bring
See,
that to the AWS.
mm,
What I can actually do is do the DNS
Yeah,
redirection. So
I just need to send that if you are using it, then you have to have your own AWS service with the account as well, right? So
yeah,
if you are using it
exactly.
for free tier account, it may have certain restrictions. First, we need to check that, then
Right,
you can come onto that platform.
right. Thank you.
Okay. So next thing is about selecting the platform only. That which kind of project are you having? Is it on the .NET on Core Linux or anything like that? Let's say I want one PHP code to run. So I'm using PHP server. So for that it will give me that which platform or which branch you are using, then platform version and all this. So recommended version is there, which is the latest one. And then what do you want? Do you want application code? Means your PHP code entire you can just directly upload, whether you want to have sample application or you can upload your own code. So if I select upload my own code, that time it will utilize one service like Amazon S3, and it will use that Amazon S3. You can use some version level, let's say version level is 1, or you can just write V1, whatever you want. Okay, just that is for your understanding. And then do you want to give local file, or you want to, if you have already hosted onto the S3 bucket or storage of AWS, you can simply provide the link of that storage over here. It will copy down from there. Otherwise you can go to local file and you can just choose this file and you can upload the whatever code you want. Okay. So means already if you are having any PHP file written or maybe index file of that, you can just upload in here. And then you can go to some presets. Preset is saying, do you want to configure it for single instance? So of course for free tier only first option is available. Otherwise there are other options like single instance using spot instance. Means accordingly at every time you'll get that kind of spot instances are like EC2 instance, which is for some flexible charges. Sometime it may you may get it with the good discount, sometime you may get it for higher price, high availability and all these things are there. So these are the other instances type. But for free account you can use just single and then you can click next. So here you can upload the code first.
So,
You
I
can
mean,
choose the file.
whatever you are following, if you have a paid tier account, I can follow along, right? And I won't be charged anything if I want to follow this tutorial that you're. I have a free tier account.
Yeah, yeah. Then you can upload the things which platform are you using right now?
No, I'm saying whatever you are showing, if I follow along with you, and I have a
Yes,
free
yes,
tier
yes,
account,
yes.
I
You
won't
can
be
you
charged
can
anything.
similarly you can practice in there. No problem.
Yeah, thank
You
you.
can just put local file as well. And if you want, if you are having static website, I'll just tell you directly upload it onto any one of the S3 service of AWS. It will be immediately live
Yeah,
because in backend already EC2 will keep on running for the S3, so that we can you
okay,
can also try with that, no problem.
okay,
Okay, so that is how you provide the code and other things, and then we click on next. So we'll go to the first part was configuration, second was the access, and third is setting up the networking and database tag, database and other things. So I just want to highlight over here that these networking database tag, all these things we are We are not mandatory, we can we don't have to do, these are the optional. So step 3, step 4, all these are the optional parts. Okay, whether we want to enable logging and monitoring, whether we want to configure any traffic or like scaling on or off, all these things are optional. Only first two step is important. First is the configuration. You just tell beanstalk that what you want to do and what is your code. And second is the configuration service access, whether you want it access for everybody, maybe particular IP or maybe a particular host. These you can select. Okay, so
So,
right now we
Arun,
have to.
in this database thing, is this Postgres SQL database available? Is this option available?
Which one?
Postgres SQL. So,
Hmm.
MySQL and Postgres SQL. Is there
No,
option
if you are
available?
having any database or SQL already running, so you can connect to that. Okay, that you can do. Otherwise, you have to use the AWS ka database service like that.
Okay. Are you going to go to step three here? Can you go to step three? I want to see if the Postgres SQL is available.
Yeah. So see, web server if you want to run, it can run. But if you have some database attached to it, either you provide that access to this, or you create a new database using AWS service.
Right. Can you go to step three where it says it's database? I want to see if it shows the Postgres SQL option there. The step
Here,
three, yeah.
that is
Can
third
you go
option.
there? Yeah, can you
Okay.
go there, please?
Okay.
So I think you have to click next, right? To go to the
Yeah, I
next.
have to click next, but before I have to choose one PHP
Okay,
file.
sure, sure.
Okay, so I have to just search where is one sample PHP I can upload. There was one application that I had used as web application, which was related to.
So I am practicing. There's a open source application called OS Ticket, which is free of cost. So I am practicing on that.
Which services?
There's a open source free application called OS Ticket.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, so I'm choose that to practice for AWS.
Yeah, yeah. See, there are a lot of other services that is actually a part of community cloud. Okay, so
Yeah.
initially I have told you all that many services which are some third parties giving these for free for sometime 24 hour, 48 hours, 7 days, 1 month like that. So it is available. One who wants to practice can use those free or open source type of cloud as well. And there is one more
Yeah,
called
so
as
this
eucalyptus.
application OS Ticket we are running in our environment that is free of cost in local server,
Okay,
and that is yeah, so it is in PHP and MySQL, and also you can run it on PostgreSQL.
good, good. Yeah, that is good option.
Yeah, so I will practice that. I will take it to the
Yeah, yeah.
AWS.
See, that is all things are related to hosting the things or maybe using
Yeah,
that services. Okay, this is
yeah.
just the part of cloud computing. But then later we have to focus on how do we secure those resources. So that comes under the security side. So this is how we provide the beanstalk, and then we'll see how to secure that. Right. So securing part is important for our side. Even you
Right.
can we can host at multiple places, no doubt. And we have this means nowadays lot of things are there who are giving these good services. Okay, But
Yeah, because when it
or
comes to database, you have to take care of the skill injection too, right?
right, right.
Um,
Yes, still it is going on there only maximum.
yeah,
Yeah, but since there is a big move from other type to the AWS or public cloud provider side, so now they have given their own servers and other things. So we need to know
yeah,
how to use them and secure them, right?
right.
Okay. So I'll just go back to this because I had created already okay. So few beanstalk services I had uploaded, and I had created one PHP file. Right now for the upload it is somewhere I had to scroll down. So otherwise I'm using uh, already made it beanstalk service. Okay, even in just 2 minutes. Audible? Okay, am I audible now?
Yes.
Okay, I think there was some internet delay. Because of that my audio was lagging behind. Okay, just I'll share the again. So I was talking about how to use the beanstalk. So beanstalk is also one of the service that we need to use. And how do we secure them? We have to make sure that particular IP address should have the access to it. So that is what is our requirement is. Okay, so I'll just go back to this EC2 dashboard. So platform as a service or infrastructure as a service or software as a service, all those services are there. And I'm just telling you how to host it, and after that how to secure it, because security part is laying within it. So you have to first get into the security group related to EC2. Then you have to go into the VPC part of that, and then you have to control the access list. So these are the three places where cloud security will come in play. And on the top of that, we have to decide who will get the access, and in which account who is allowed to perform these actions. So that comes under IAM security. So hierarchy is like that. On the top we have IM security. Below that we have the um, infrastructure based security, then platform based security, and the software or SaaS based security. And combining all those, again we have the function as a security. So function as a service, which is again having some security role to play. So these are the things related to. I'll just again go with the Beanstalk. Let's see, one more service I have already hosted. So if that is available, so I just want everybody, if you platform to practice, I just pass me your email ID. I will send you the invite so that you all can also practice it in for initial days, and later on you can purchase your own, or take your own AWS free account. Okay. So meanwhile, is there network delay? It is not getting loaded. So there is a thing. I'll just add your email IDs. I'll take that into account, and we will continue tomorrow's class, and then we'll see Beanstalk, and then we'll come back to IEM secure. Okay. So IEM is the next part for us. So after that, we'll start with the VPC part. Okay. So I have to terminate, end the session today for today here only. So is there like any question or anything you want to ask? Please. Yeah, please go ahead.
I just wanna know. This is my first session. I just wanna know, like, if we can get the same recording of the session and the material you are showing, so we can follow when we are time.
Okay, okay, sure. See, in the cloud security group, we keep posting all the recordings. Okay, so
Um,
maybe we can post all those all together again, so you all can get all the recordings. Okay.
yes, I think the one I was going through. I think yes, I
Yeah.
went until all the seven, like the batch five, the seven. I think there was like 7 to 8 recording. They are like older, like from April or like before that, not the latest. Because in that there is like as you mentioned, you had like one infrastructure session about the
Okay.
cloud.
Okay.
I
So
think they
see, for only for the main cloud side, I think we can start from day number 8 or 9. Okay. So we have to look for the link from day 9 onwards.
Okay, yeah. In batch
We'll
five,
post it.
there's not anything related to cloud yet, so
Yeah,
that's why I was
I'll
saying.
ask Indresh sir also. He will update it again, so everybody will be able to see that video.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yes,
I went to a couple of the recordings, and there is like a mentioned of like material which was showing like the books for like networking, and then like today you were showing the PowerPoint. So that are also there is like link to Drive, or it will come in the group.
yeah. See, you don't worry. You get the group. You get all the links. I will share you. But I think today's this is cloud security lecture. So you are part of cyber security. From tomorrow, you join the cyber security. Then once the new batch will start, join that batch as well.
Yes, yes,
Mm.
for sure that I'm
Yeah,
going to do. So I
mm,
just want to like till I'm here, I can also